I made this shit last. Burning down to the wake-up call, to the sun grows cold, to making it down. Judgment is what they find us so deep out of space of judgment. I'm back in your past, you find what I can't run. It's not on your voice, what's the gun? Free run.
I did for her, she kept taking me for granted and showed no mercy in fading me away. But that time has come and gone, now everything we need is in our hands. So draw a line in the sand and repeat after me.
I won't look back to what cannot be changed. I won't look back to what cannot be changed. I made this shit last. Burning down to the wake-up call, to the sun grows cold, to making it down. Judgment is what they find us so deep out of space of judgment. I'm back in your past, you find what I can't run. It's not on your voice, what's the gun? Free run.
You have dialed has been changed. The new number is, please note. Please note.
Never gonna stop, never gonna change, never gonna do the things you say. I run my own way to get there. Phones are calling and the eyes seem to care. In the air, no more crowd, just the opposite kind of few clouds. So tell me this time is coming for the sake of all your lies. Why don't you try to be wise? Now that I need you anyway. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat at time, I've got to let just to tell you, don't lead the way, don't leave the same. Then I saw with the shadows playing in the rain. I feel like I'm fading. Come on, give it all you got. Try and save me, but you're making it all worse. I'm dying to hear these words. I'll be down the road, cause I know the odds are better on my side. Why don't you try to be wise? I'm calling you cry. I never wanted to be alive, just to feel like I'm fading. And though my heart breaks a beat at time,
And howdy, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means? It's party time. We are the Video Bros. I am Bobby Munson, and right beside me, he's got a cool new get up there tonight, and it deserves this kind of introduction. It's Mr. Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes. Damn, man, that's looking good there. That's some kick-ass memorabilia behind you. Nice, sharp-looking Papa Smokes here tonight.
All right, Munson, I'm loving it. And thoughts a few things needed to be spruced up around Studio Smokes here. So here we go, man.
There you go. And even we got Carl Turnbuckle Studios coming in. Papa Smokes looking sharp. And then we got Auntie Woogie as well. As always, hi, guys. Looking good, Papa. Look at all the love for you, Papa Smokes. And it just a little bit of sprucing up and putting a few things on the wall, and you're looking quite the superstar there tonight.
All right, I'm loving it, Munson, and let's get this going. We got some MLW Fusion to talk about.
We sure do, but before we do, we want to go ahead and let you guys know about Rogue Energy. As you'll see down below, Rogue Energy, that QR code will get you on over to their site where you can use the promo code OLEPODS to get 10% off of your order. You can also check out this ticker right there. That's going to follow you over to rogueenergy.com and that promo code OLEPODS, 10% off your order. What is Rogue Energy, you ask? Well, Rogue Energy is an alternative to the everyday energy drink that you're going to find in the stores. If you're looking to be a little healthier, especially going into the new year, you want to be a better version of you, then you might want to get yourself something that helps with your energy but doesn't fill you with all the negative sugars and stuff like that. So we're talking about no sugar, zero calorie, I believe low calorie, and vegan friendly as well too. We're talking about our friends at Rogue Energy and bursting with flavor as well too. Great flavors that they have there. Fantastic people. So go check them out. Papa Smokes, as you mentioned, we're here because of Major League Wrestling. MLW Fusion kicked off tonight, and we knew we were getting for a big one. We had a title match coming up in the main event. It's going to be an interesting one to talk about coming up here. But before we do, we got a lot to unfold. And we got Carl coming in. Fusion #1. I like it. I think we got to go right to #1 here. We got to be the #1 MLW talk show again. We got to get Court looking into us one of these days. Maybe we'll get ourselves on MLW radio, maybe even a guest spot one day on commentary. Like, come on, Court. What do we got to do, man? We'll keep putting in the work. We'll be putting in the grind. Give us our opportunity. We won't let you down. But we got debuts after debut after debut. This was the debut night for a lot of people at MLW. Papa Smokes starting to get a feel for what's going to happen with this new season, some of the new faces that we're going to see. And we got to see one right off the hop, but not somebody that, is unfamiliar to the wrestling fans. We got Chocolate Thunder Willie Mack coming on out, making his debut. And we got Dadgone Gaming in for the very first time. Man, thanks for stopping by. Very, very happy that you were able to make it into the show. It is your first time chatting with us. We like to have a good time, so stick around, grab a drink if you're a drinker, party with the Video Bros, and ask us anything. And yes, hashtag Court Hire these men. Love that. Let's get that shit trending right there, Papa Smokes. We'll get right through to the boss. Hopefully he'll give us that job one of these days. But yeah, we got the debut of Chocolate Thunder Willie Mack joining the commentary team because he's got to check things out here. Did you all see Steve Austin come back out of retirement? That at WrestleMania last year, you bet, my friend. Check that out for sure. And of course, the rumors that he is going to be coming back again this year. So a lot to unfold there over on the WWE side. Definitely tonight we are talking MLW. We had Willie Mack on commentary, but then a debut of a tag team, Pop Smoke. So we got the debut of La Annexion, I believe it's pronounced, and that is Angel Fashion and Mark Davidson. Hold on. Willie was on commentary. Interesting. Yeah, he was on commentary, but we're going to get to old Willie here in a little bit. You got more to talk about when it comes to Willie Mack. But yeah, these two boys come out. They got a nice look to them. Angel Fashion and Mark Davidson, La Annexion. I'm like, okay, who do they got coming up against these two boys? It's the Samoan SWAT team, Lance Hawaii and Big Juicy Finau, and Ninja-like Juicy Finau, too. I was wondering where Big Juice was as we saw Fatu coming down to the ring with Lance Hawaii, and then boom, out of nowhere, Big Juice pops out from somewhere. I don't know where, but damn, you can't help but love these guys. The second they're on the screen, they've got my attention.
Yeah, Juicy's not the kind of guy you think of being very stealthy or sneaking around, but it was the same thing for me. I was watching Lance and Jacob come out to the ring, and I was just thinking, where's Juice? Is he going to come out? And bang, there he was all of a sudden. It's kind of hard to hide a guy that's 470 pounds.
Yeah, it really is, but man, he did it. It was interesting there. Dan got game, and I'm a big fan of 90s wrestling, to be honest, myself too, man. That's what I grew up on. Reach out anytime, man. I'd love to talk to you about it for sure. And, keep those comments coming. We love having an active chat here on Fusion. But damn, Papa Smokes, as soon as I saw this, I'm thinking law annexion. Sorry, as I'm getting deeper into my beers, deeper into my night, it's getting harder to get these things done. But I thought these two boys had a nice look. They got a couple things in, not much, because it really was a squash from there on in. The big boy really getting his licks in there, getting to crush the two guys in the corner. He got that Samoan drop on the two of them, followed by Lance doing the beautiful Samoan splash from the top rope. These two just make a fantastic tandem tag team. I really like the pairing of Big Juice and Lance. I think they're fantastic. If these guys aren't tag champs sometime soon, I think they're missing the mark.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you just said. This match wasn't drastically different than the one we saw, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
A couple weeks, yeah.
Yeah, very similar kind of squash match. They're going to smash over the Samoan SWAT team. Not that they really need to. These guys can get over on their own, but they're having some pretty non-competitive matches against some job guys, and this is good. This is exactly what we want to see from Samoan SWAT team. Let's see what you can do. Let's give you a couple of punching bags and see how you hit them. And the fans were all over this match, loving this combination, just as we were with our buddy Lance Anoa'i in this contest. And the fans love to watch Juicy carrying on and that big belly of his shaking all around. And the Samoan SWAT team in their skits have a good time. And then their entrance out to the ring, they're just having a great time with the fans, joking around, playing the drum, waving the flag around, all that stuff. And they come across as badass baby faces kind of. And I'm loving it. And the fans in Atlanta were loving it too. And this is good. They should push these guys towards a tag team title run, I do believe.
How are they going to reinforce the MLW ring to have a match between Hustle and Power versus the Samoan SWAT team? I mean, we're talking a lot of beef in one single ring there.
Yeah, they will have to reinforce it for sure. I was even watching Juicy Finau standing on the ropes there, standing on the second rope, saluting the fans, and just thinking, man, this whole middle turnbuckle is going to fall off.
We got looks like a comment coming in, but we are going to go ahead. And I'm sorry, we don't play well with self-promoting within here, so we're just going to completely ignore that one. If you want to talk to us about MLW, feel free to get in the chat. We do appreciate everybody tuning into the show and getting in on the chat. But we'll save the self-promoting for another time there. But appreciate the offer. Anyway, from there, after the matchup, we had a promo featuring the Samoan SWAT team. Fought two on that microphone, saying he's got some unfinished business with one real one. Who that's coming up very, very soon. It's got to be happening within a short period of time. But real one better watch out. But you know who else is going to need to watch out? It's Willie Mack. Willie Mack there on commentary. He stood up and talked about the history that he's got with Jacob Fatu fighting all over the West Coast. And now they want to bring that to MLW. They're going to put on a match between each other. Match was accepted between these two guys and a lot of respect between them. We're going to get Willie Mack versus Jacob Fatu coming up very, very soon for MLW.
And speaking of another match, they might have to reinforce the ring for. That's a whole lot of beef clashing in the middle of the ring there. And this should be good, man. I've enjoyed Willie Mack's work in the past, and put him in there with a master like Jacob Fatu. We could have a pretty hot match here. That's coming up in January, is it not?
Yeah, you bet. Actually, that's going to be what we're talking about here. That match is coming up on January 5th, I believe, Thursday, January 5th. They will be taking a 2-week break in between that. So, again, next week is going to be the last episode of Fusion, a 2-week break. and then coming back in the new year on January the 5th with that big matchup set for that card. That is going to be kick-ass. What are Pop Smokes and I going to do with those 2 weeks? We're not going to abandon you guys. We got some year-end type stuff, some things we want to talk about. We're going to be going and doing a couple of live editions of Ring Respect Radio during that time. And we've got some other cool stuff coming up too. We've got an interview booked next week. It's going to be pre-taped, but I think that we're also going to maybe play a bit of it here on the show next Thursday, so you guys can get a glimpse of it before we release it, I believe next Friday. But it's going to be a cool interview, man. I really excited. I might as well go ahead and say it. Next week we've got should we break it? Former MLW commentator Rich Bocchini joining us. That's why he's not going to be joining Fusion. He's going to be joining Ring Respect Radio on a very special interview that we got going on with him. Very much looking forward to talking to Rich next week, Pop Smokes.
Oh, what a complete thrill. And Rich Bocchini is well known in the wrestling world as an outstanding play-by-play commentator and general wrestling broadcaster in general. And, Munson, as you and I are doing commentary in Prairie Pro Wrestling as well, it would just be an absolute thrill to talk to a master like Rich Bocchini. Would love to pick his mind about various aspects of commentary in the professional wrestling world. I'm totally excited for this.
Looking forward to learning a little bit more from a pro because, again, I love the opportunity to learn as much as possible when possible. So it's going to be great talking to Rich. And speaking of Prairie Pro Wrestling, Pop Smokes, you mentioned it. So I'm going to let people know if you happen to be in Saskatoon this coming Saturday, December the 10th, you're going to want to check out Prairie Pro Wrestling in live capacity with Seasons Beatings. And we got a big grudge match set for you guys. It's going to be El Asesino taking on Cannonball Kelly, as I was corrected many times during our little conversation with El Asesino there. I did my damn job this time, Asesino. So wipe that smirk off your face and we'll see what goes down in that big grudge match this Saturday night. You guys can check that out at the Cosmo Senior Center in Saskatoon. Tickets available from our sponsors or at the door. $15 gets you a good night of wrestling action, Pop Smokes.
I
look forward to Saturday.
For sure. And I knew when we interviewed El Asesino that him and I were going to have a go at you somehow in that. And then right off the bat, fate just led us right to you.
Well, I've crossed the line with El Asesino a few times over the past 5 years that I've known the guy. So, I mean, I might be to this date, and I'll say to this date, the only person that's ever slagged him off and not paid his dues for it.
Yeah, not yet, Munson. You'll get yours. I guarantee you'll get yours.
That's coming one of these days, I'm sure. And I've always got eyes in the back of my head, especially when El Asesino's in the building. But you guys can check that out this coming Saturday. It's going to be fantastic. Papa Smokes, big news because we found out where the Opera Cup has been located, and it's in good hands. I think it's in good hands in the form of Alex Kane of the Beaumont Fight Club. You can check out our interview with here on the show for previously. That video available now. But yeah, the Opera Cup tournament is going to return. A date has not officially been set, but we can expect the next Opera Cup to be going down, which then leads to our next video promo. It is from our good friend Alex Kane, Beaumont. Yes, he is backstage. He's talking about everything to do with the Beaumont Fight Club. How they've got the Opera Cup right now. Davey's got his belt, and I think he mentioned that Mr. Thomas is over in the Philippines or somewhere else. Submitting them out, tapping them out, kicking ass for the Beaumont Fight Club as it goes international. And speaking of international, the big matchup set for tonight. The debut of Shun Skywalker coming over from Jangangay in Japan to take on member of the Beaumont Fight Club, young GOAT Myron Reed for the MLW Middleweight Championship, who Alex Kane firmly calls Shun Trashwalker. What a good time it is when Alex Kane is on our screen.
Alex Kane is so awesome, and you brought up our interview with him. He had so much energy and so much comic relief, and he was just absolutely excellent. And what a big booming personality he has. And then we would see more of this later on the evening with him on commentary as well. But he cuts a fine promo too. The guy can talk.
Oh yeah, fantastic man to talk to. If you ever have an opportunity to talk to Alex Kane, you should do so. But you should always be checking him out because man, he's good in the ring. He's good on a mic. This guy is going to be a damn star, and we know it. But he's been throwing shade at one Davey Richards, the one who took the National Openweight Championship off of him, And Davey had a response this time. He is cutting a promo video saying that he's been working out. We know that he's got his gym his dojo that he works out in. He trains a lot of that MMA, that catch can wrestling style that he's into. And he trains a lot of up and comers as well, and a lot of people that just want to train under Davey Richards for the absolute depth of training that he can provide you. And he says he's been working with somebody international that Alex Kane is going to find out more about very, very soon.
Yeah, the interesting little words of prophecy there, and we didn't realize how quickly we would find out the answer to that problem.
You bet. We're going to find out later tonight. But then in very, very interesting news, Papa Smokes, and I'm sure this will put a big smile on your old face, we see Cesar Duran, matchmaker of MLW for the past very long time now, walk out of the dressing room or locker room, office, whatever it is, of CEO Court Bauer. Court Bauer rarely ever in an on-screen capacity with MLW, but Cesar Duran will get very frustrated as he comes out. We then find out Cesar Duran has been removed as the matchmaker in MLW, effective immediately, and Court Bauer and his people are taking back control in terms of the matchmaking moving forward.
Yeah, big news, and something I wasn't expecting, and I'm wondering where they're going with this, because they had a whole plot going with Cesar Duran and all his dirty business and all kinds of secretive espionage type things that were going on, and Microman was listening in, and he had a thing with Conan, and he had a thing with Selena De La Renta, and he was just looking so dirty. Hey, man. And now that this is over, I wonder what the blow off is going to be. I wonder what the result of this will be.
Well, I wonder if this is maybe again from last week. We saw everybody laid out. We've had these mysterious attacks happening. That calling card that keeps getting left behind every single time. We saw pretty much the whole damn locker room laid out, other than Cesar Duran and his henchmen who fled the scene. And this seems to be what might play into the reason that he has been let go effectively. And how soon are we going to find out who this mysterious attacker is and how this played a big part in the fall of Cesar Duran?
Yeah, I'm so curious about this. And you have to wonder if the two events are connected. We've got this mysterious person knocking out all the talent in the back hallways of MLW. And then Cesar, after the biggest attack, which we saw the results of last week, Cesar Duran being removed of his duties there, relieved of his duties. So was he somehow behind this attack that looks like it's injured some of the MLW wrestlers? Was it some of his other dirty business moves or his salty past that we've heard referenced a few times? We don't know. We need answers, but nice to see Court on camera. I don't think I've ever seen him appear on the show in any capacity whatsoever. He's quite... sits in the background. He's not one of those owners that gets out there and yells on the mic, but he wanted, it makes it look legit when you see Duran coming out of the office, and yeah, that's actually Court in there.
Yeah, and I respect that as well too with him. I think when he has come on, it's been in a capacity of being interviewed about an event coming up or about a decision made by the company to work with. I think when they announced with them working with Dragon's Gate, he did a quick couple minutes at the end of one of the episodes or something like that in an interview. But interesting conversation piece here. Cesar totally gone, or do you expect a managerial role from him moving forward? Personally, Cesar Duran, the idea that was going on with him was getting a little tired. So I don't blame them for coming to an end with that. But it's not that the guy can't talk. The guy is a character for sure. And there is potential to use him in a capacity, especially if he was to bring someone in. If he brings in someone, or maybe he is behind whoever it is that's doing these attacks, this is somebody he had hired to take out the locker room, then yeah, I could definitely see it. And I wouldn't blame Court Bauer and MLW for making the decision to use him in that form of capacity still.
Yeah, and I just thought of something too. Cesar Duran has had strong affiliations in the past with Mil Muertes. I wonder if that could be the guy that's someone that could come back and cause that kind of destruction too. That's maybe a thought. He's used Mil Muertes as his hitman before.
He really has, and we have not seen him yet this season. It would be very unfortunate if we don't again, too. It was King Muertes at that point when we saw him last.
Yeah, and do you remember also now to think about this long-term storytelling, as the kids like to say? Last season, there was a bit where Cesar Duran in his office presented Mil Muertes with that box, and Muertes opened the box, and there was just the light coming out of it, and it looked like it might have bestowed him with some kind of power or something, and then I think that might have been the last we saw of him, so that's also interesting too.
You know what? We're going to find out this whole time it's been Kevin Nash as the super shredder that's been taking everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please don't. Oh, fuck. I better not put that into the universe right there. But
yeah, edit that part out.
Yeah, done. Oh, shit, we're live. Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Up next, we have more wrestling action from MLW here, Bob Spokes. And again, I've never heard of Sultan de Ares. Have you?
No, I have him in my notes here as Masked Job Guy, so I didn't actually catch his name.
So, yeah, as Dombrowski pointed out quite well, Sultan de Ares was the name of the masked man in the very Casey Navarro-inspired pink gear here tonight.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. And it was like, okay, who do we got this debuting guy going against? And then, oh, shit, it's the Judge, EJ Nduka. Sorry, bud, your debut just got a whole lot worse because the Judge has been one pissed off dude. Feels like Alex Hammerstone's been ducking him, not giving him his opportunity. Even though Hammer did agree to the championship match, it seems like the Judge is really trying to get in the head of Hammerstone and hit it home that he is a dangerous man. And again, a pissed off Judge is a very scary looking Judge, if you ask me.
Yeah, and like we discussed, Nduka had got the sort of handshake agreement for a title match from Hammerstone on a couple of occasions when they still had a friendly acquaintanceship kind of going on, or a mutual professional respect in the back. But as we saw just last week, that he did it again, asked for it again. Hammerstone in good faith said yes, shook his hand and all that, but that can't be enough for Nduka because he hasn't got his shot yet. So that's what you do, just like the tag team partner kicking his former partner through the glass window. You make sure that this is over and it happens. You don't leave it up to the handshake anymore. You make sure that now he wants the match with you as well.
You bet. And that's exactly what's going to end up happening. We saw Nduka just absolutely plow through the competition, the big man throwing the big moves. Again, we've seen, so it's a good thing the Sultan's got some aerial ability, because Nduka was throwing him around like a rag doll, making him fly probably further than he's ever flown in his life. This was exactly what it needed to be, Papa Smokes. This makes Nduka look strong. It puts him over big time going up against a guy like Hammer. It makes you believe, I know you said it while we were watching it, that there is belief that they would pull the trigger on Nduka as the new MLW World Heavyweight Champion.
I could totally see that. They've pumped him hard the entire time he's been there. As soon as he got there, they started pushing him hard, and it's been a huge push ever since. Didn't he debut kind of right before the Battle Riot last year? And then the Battle Riot was his first big match. I don't know.
Battle Riot was where that was the debut, because that was when him and Alex Kane and some of the boys. Yeah, so Battle Riot 3 was when we first saw the Judge. And he ended up eliminating a third of the competition in the matchup.
Yeah, more people than had ever been eliminated in that event before. So that's a big massive push too, and you knew that they were going to smash this guy over, and I just think they're continuing to do that. And I think if you underestimate how far this push will go, you might miss something, because I have the feeling as a heel now, he might be the new champion in the next couple months.
Yeah, I don't doubt that at all. I very much see it. Again, could it happen? But, Hammer's not going to take it lightly. He wanted to get a measure of revenge here tonight, Papa Smoke. So after Nduka had beaten down his opponent, he gets on a microphone. He starts gloating about just how damn good he is and how he deserves to be the champion. That's when the real champ comes out. Hammerstone coming down to the ring. He ends up going, instead of trying to cheap shot Nduka, Hammer doing the babyface move, He waits until Aduka turns around and he goes at him like a man. These two slugging it out like a couple of big old titans till they get to the top of the ramp, and it's splitting hairs, but the spot looked a little like neither guy quite wanted to do it, but there was the spot where Hammer kind of jumps at Duca and they go through it wasn't a table, but like a set piece or something like that ended up breaking. I got to say, both guys looked very uncomfortable with doing the spot tonight.
Yeah, I also noticed that too. It didn't come across like they wanted. And to be honest, I don't know what they were trying to do there. It almost looked like Hammerstone was going to give Nduka one of those Luthez press, where you jump up and then land on him and start punching the person, like one of those things. Like Trish Stratus used to do that move. But anyway, it looked like it was going to be that, but Hammerstone didn't get a good couple of steps before it, and it didn't look like Nduka was ready to catch it. So it looked like they walked into each other and just fell backwards, sort of thing. Not to crap on this spot. Not everything goes perfectly all the time. Yeah, for sure. But the end result, the same thing. Like, they're showing us the kind of destruction and carnage and mayhem that might happen from these two giant titans clashing in the ring. And now we know we've got a match set up. We've got a championship match in the future with these two, and they're just showing us the kind of destruction that could happen.
Yeah, you bet. And they keep going at each other every week. We know that match is going to be coming up sometime soon. I imagine that is, again, going to be one of the ones we see later deep into January here coming up when they return to action. So, yeah, that went down. And then we got Jacob Fatu backstage dumping a beer on his head, I believe. Commentators alluded to the fact, like, hold on here. Is Jacob Fatu going to cash in his opportunity here tonight? Well, no. I'm sorry. As much as that's the way out for a lot of companies to do, I don't see MLW pulling that trigger, and I don't see it fitting Jacob Fatu's character, especially now that he's a babyface on top of it. I don't see him wanting to take Hammer out when Hammer's down. He wants to get his measure of revenge. He wants that one-on-one 100% Hammerstone so that they can have the true match that they started to have last time before Hammer broke his foot in the middle of the match.
Yeah, you got that right. I don't know what that spot was supposed to represent, unless they were kind of making fun of that concept. I could see that, I suppose, but it never really went anywhere. But it would have, it could have been opportunistic for somebody in another company to have done that, because Hammer was quite injured by that fall through the table there, or whatever that apparatus was. That once again, he hurt his mouth there too. He had blood coming out of his mouth. It looked like he got a wood chip or something through his mouth, or else just busted open lip there. But Hammer looks like he's held together by tape and string at this point. He's taken some pretty big bumps.
Yeah, Bam on top. I know you always showing us the love by keeping a tab open and making sure that we get those views up. So appreciate you, my man. Thank you for always showing us love and support in any capacity. We appreciate it. We appreciate every single one of you. Get that chat active here as we're getting closer to the end of things. Up next, that was when they announced that Cesar was no more. So before we get to the last segment, Pop Smokes, we're going to go down a little bit of a somber road here for just a moment. Unfortunately, big news that spilled out from MLW, and this isn't big in a positive way by any means. It found out that one most marketable, Mr. Richard Holiday there is battling with cancer, and I forget the name of it's. You could probably fill me in.
He has Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is the cancer of the lymph nodes, which fortunately is quite a lot more treatable than it was these days. Like, I don't think that's considered a fatal form of cancer anymore, but I mean, it's a terrible disease, and it's also very worrisome too. And my heart just dropped when I read this news directly from his Twitter, and I feel bad for the guy. I'm a great admirer of his as a wrestler and as a person too, and I'm devastated by the news. But I stand behind Richard Holiday 1,000%, and he's young, he's healthy, he can beat this, and I'll stand behind him 100% all the way.
Yeah, and as Carl's saying, not fatal, but very much so painful to hear. And yeah, that's exactly our sentiments. We want to just take a moment to send all our best wishes. I know we don't know him personally, but Richard Holiday, man, fight the good fight, kick the shit out of cancer, whatever form of it is, get rid of it and get back to being the best version of you, because you're a star in the making, man. You're a good human being, and all the best from definitely myself, and I know probably from Papa Smokes too, from the video bros in general, man. Get better, and we hope to see you in a ring very, very soon, dude. Kick cancer right the hell out. But yeah, let's get over the somber part here, Papa Smokes, and we're going to get to something here real soon. But before we do, as always, we make things happen because of people who sponsor the show. So again, if you have subbed to our channel, we really, really do appreciate that. If you've checked us out on YouTube and you've given us a sub there as well, big thank you. But we also have another sponsor in the form of Rogue Energy. So if you guys will just take one moment, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to talk about the main event. That's courtesy our good friends over at Rogue Energy, where you can use that promo code OLEPODS for 10% off your order, or click the QR code you see right below Papa Smokes. But it's time, that time of the night, Papa Smokes, every single Thursday. We love to get to it. It's time for the main event of the evening. This match scheduled for one fall.
One fall.
And it is for the MLW World Middleweight Championship. Yes, we got the young GOAT, member of the Beaumaye Fight Club. He is going to be defending the MLW World Heavy Middleweight Championship against the debuting Shun Skywalker from Dragon Gate, who we've seen promos of, we've seen video clips of. We're very excited to see this. And holy shit, Papa Smokes, it did not disappoint. This match was great. I liked this one. This has been one of the strongest main event matches on MLW television since they come back from the break. Like me some Shun Skywalker after this one. This guy is crisp inside that ring. Very, very slick at what he does. And again, we've said the praises of Myron Reed over and over and over again. These two clicked from the get-go, and man, did they put on a great match.
Yeah, I got to agree with that too. This looked good right off the bat from Myron Reed coming out with Alex Kane and those cool Beaumaye Fight Club jackets. And then Shun Skywalker coming out. I like the way he did things. He had kind of not the flashy gear or anything. It was dark. It was somber. It wasn't at all extravagant or anything like that, especially for a guy debuting in a new company, in a new country. But he had an aura about him. It kind of almost made it seem like he was not trying to be flashy. He was there serious to do business, like to fight, like, just like he does in the dojo, and fight in the ring. And that goddamn, that's exactly what we got. And Shun Skywalker impressed me also. I liked his promos because he had a seriousness and a confidence about him, even though he didn't speak English so good. He knew what he was saying the whole time, and he had the listener wrapped around his finger during his promo. It's kind of the same thing with his match. Came out with quiet confidence, and just with such a good dance partner there in Myron Reed. Boy, they put on a show.
They really did. But Shun Skywalker didn't come alone. We found out who's the international flavor that's been working out with Davey Richards. It is one Shun Skywalker. So Davey's been teaching a few things to Shun Skywalker. And again, some of that mat wrestling was on display in this one as well, too. Again, Myron, we've seen do the mat wrestling. Shun Skywalker mixing it up in there as well, too. And then we saw, of course, the high-flying moves that you expect from a middleweight matchup. And some of those stunners that Myron Reed, especially that one where he leapt the top rope and him and Shun Skywalker down to the outside. Oh, damn, was that a spot?
Oh, that was so good. And he's amazed me a number of times with that move, but that one was something entirely special because he bounced from one side of the ring, jumped over the top rope, grabbed the guy, then did the move. Like, he had so much airtime in that jump, but he had a lot of stuff to do and accomplish, including getting himself and his partner down to the arena floor safely. And still, it looked like an absolutely massive and destructive bump. And man, the crowd in that building just popped for that spot, as did I.
Oh, you know what? They can go back to Hotlanta anytime. That crowd is wild. I like them.
Yeah.
They make it fun. I found that there's a couple of the crowds that they've done before. I think it was maybe the Dallas tapings or something like that felt a little mute compared to what we've seen before. But damn, the Hotlanta crowd, they are nothing but hot from start to finish for everything going on the ring. It makes it really damn exciting as a fan watching, especially watching on Pro Wrestling TV. Shout out to Pro Wrestling TV for being able to feature MLW and some of the great content over there. But man, this was exciting. This was fun. These guys were crisp. And then the big spot that we weren't expecting to happen, I would have almost bet anything on this. Myron Reed comes up short. It's Shun Skywalker with the quick roll up at the end as they're going back and forth. That ends up getting enough weight on it, keeps the champion down. We have a new champion, and the Beaumaye Fight Club lose another piece of gold within a short period of time here, Pop Smokes. They have been absolutely robbed as of late. Now, Davey Richards seems to have the upper hand currently on the Beaumaye Fight Club.
Yeah, he seems to currently, and isn't that a huge hit for Beaumaye Fight Club now to have no belts in their faction now, whereas they used to boast 2 out of the basically 3 or 4 main titles that there were to win in MLW. Wow, really, really crazy. And I also wasn't expecting this title to change, but they've put a little bit of effort into pushing Shun Skywalker. They've obviously brought him over here for a time period, a contract type thing where he'll do some tours with them and some tapings and some shows. So I'm all down for it. I'm a big fan of Myron Reed. I didn't like seeing his disappointed face after the match, after he lost that belt. But I think if we bring in some new blood, and especially someone international, it's kind of neat. We get to see some different stuff, some different matches, some different opponents, and a whole new style here too. So I always want to elevate that middleweight title because there's lots of great talent in that weight category that can come here and do good stuff for this company. So let's get it out there. Let's get it up there. Whether the champion is Reed or now Shun Skywalker, more defenses and let's bring in some good talent. Let's elevate this title.
And the best thing is, especially for MLW, is that then they allow the international talent to take the belt back to their own company. So Shun Skywalker goes on back to Dragon Gate holding the MLW Middleweight Championship. Again, that logo firmly on that belt. It's going to be seen by how many people that are there may not be familiar with MLW, want to find out, hey, I'm a fan of Shun Skywalker. What's this belt he's carrying around? You know, they can check it out for free. They end up becoming fans. It's really, really strong advertising on the case of MLW without having to spend a lot in terms of advertising.
For sure. And as for the promotions, they can trade talent back and forth. How about Myron Reed and a couple of the middleweight boys from MLW go over to Dragon Gate to do some shows in Japan? Whether or not the belt changes hands there, they get to see some new talent. We get to see some new talent, and everybody wins.
Yeah, it sounds like a win-win, definitely. But we have the new champ that has been crowned. It's going to be exciting to see where things go from there and who will step up to the plate when it comes to Shun Skywalker. Will Myron Reed inevitably try to challenge and become a 4-time middleweight champion, or is something else on the cards for the young goat? Is it time to step him up into the Upper Cup, or could it be time to step him up to something like the National Openweight Championship? Again, Myron Reed has been doing the grind now for quite a few years with MLW, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the young goat get a much stronger opportunity as this season continues to unfold.
And I don't see why not, because ever since I've been watching, or you and I have been watching MLW for the past few years, Myron Reed has always got good booking. He's had titles. He's moved upwards and onwards always throughout this company. He's had a tag team title run with Injustice. He's had those 2, or is it 3 now, reigns as the middleweight champion. I can just see him moving up, maybe eventually to the world title. You never really know.
Yeah, you know what? He could end up being the most decorated MLW champion in history at this point. In fact, in some ways, he already is, because most people win a title, they have their run, they move on, and even when they come back, they don't necessarily slot them into the title picture. But, someone who could change that up very soon, too, is a returning Davey Boy Smith Jr. We know that one's on the cards. And, we've seen the light up of the tag division, too. We know that the Billingtons have signed full-time MLW contracts. We know that their debut is coming very, very soon here with MLW as well, too. So it's exciting times all over, Papa Smokes. We got a lot more to unfold. But next week is going to be the last MLW Fusion for 2022. And we've got that big man match. It's Big Willie Mack taking on Jacob Fatu. That is going to be a fun, fantastic big guy fight we got next week on Fusion. Looking forward to doing that one with you. And again, as we said, we're going to be then taking this show over to a little bit of Ring Respect Radio for a couple of weeks as we see out 2022 with you guys and be able to, talk about some of our favorite moments of the year and stuff like that too. It's going to be a fun party time as we wind things down. But Papa Smokes, as we wind down this episode of Fusion, why don't you tell the good folks where they can find Papa Smokes?
I'm always available and always can be found in Elon Musk's free speech wonderland and campground. It's known as Twitter. I'm at smokes_papa, and I'm on Twitch at papa_smokes_.
That's where you can find Mr. Papa Smokes. Again, you'll be able to catch me again in capacity here on these channels this coming Sunday with my brunch buster brother, Mr. Chris Parrish, as we bring you another episode of Bustin' Out. And yes, unfortunately, we weren't able to make schedule. Beats Beatdown did not make schedule for Wednesday as planned, but it will be releasing tomorrow, so you can check out episode 2 of Beats and Beatdown Season 2 with myself and Carl Carafello, who was joining us in the chat all night long here. Carl, my man, thank you for joining us in the chat. Auntie Wooji, thank you for joining us. Pastor69, thank you for joining us. Including our new chatter here tonight. Thanks for coming in and chatting as well, too. Really appreciate all you guys. Check everything out that everybody has to offer here. And as we bring things to a close, yes, as always, thank you to each and every single one of you. Give a big old hello to someone. I think we're going to have to go and give a bit of a raid here, Papa Smokes. I think it's only appropriate. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, our good friend from Backbreaker Media, Mike the Ref, might still be on. I am going to make sure. And if he is, we're going to go ahead and give Mike our follow. Yes, we're going to go and raid Mike the Ref over at Backbreaker. So say hello to our good friend Mike the Ref from myself and Papa Smokes. If you're joining us on YouTube, that raid will not be happening on YouTube, of course, but we do appreciate you tuning in, and stay tuned for our outro video. If you are tuning in on YouTube on the Video Bros Network, we want to ask that you go ahead and click subscribe and let everybody know about everything to do with your pals, the Video Bros. There we go. And yeah, Mike is still on, and that is over to him, hopefully. So I hope that everybody is now over on Mike's channel with the raid. And we close out here on this week's episode of Fusion. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next Thursday.